the main thing. So a couple last minute prep here. So yeah, should be a good show. Got I think 3 guests total. No, 4 lined up. Got Katie coming in, some other folks, and then a surprise guest who just confirmed like 2 minutes ago.
I was about to say, like, you're like, surprise guest. Oh yeah, that happened right now.
It happened right now.
I mean, as usual, we are professionals.
We are professionals.
If I go to the green room right now, I think my mic gets muted. So what happened last week? Did you bump me out of the...
Yeah, I sent you to the green room.
Okay, good.
He said banishment. That's what you need.
Banishment. There's D-grade banishment.
That's where I thrive.
Yeah, but I do... Let's see. I do need to find now Vegas's deck lists.
Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
DLC Vegas? What are you talking about?
CCQ.
No, CCQ Vegas. I don't think that they uploaded all of them. Let me double check though.
I just need the winner's deck.
Well, that makes things easier.
Well, I can work on that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that won't be for a little bit then. And yeah, so got Katie coming on for a good part of the show, and then we'll have a couple guests from Singapore if that works out.
Really? That's awesome.
I'm terrible at time zones. So yeah, but should have a couple guests joining us from Singapore, unless I mess that up. And lots to talk about. So
it was a very eventful weekend. Like there were so many tournaments that I was stream hopping for a good bit of, just Saturday and Sunday, to be honest.
Oh, I'm glad you were. We were doing Christmas cookies and Christmas fair and driving back from Louisiana and a little bit in the hospital. So I'm just gonna be picking your brain all stream.
Don't worry, I have all of some of the play-by-plays, to be honest, because there were some turns I was like, wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited, and then we'll even do some Charlie's predictions. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always feel weird about that since I'll be there, but just, you heard it here first. I win.
There you go.
Yeah, you should predict that. That's yes.
All right. Well, it is 8:04. Should we should we get this going?
Yeah, you just start.
All right. So I
have a good show.
Really bad at timing. All right. See you in a bit, Steven.
Hey.
Yeah, it's Monday night again. It feels like they keep happening. Mondays.
It's the fun thing. Just Mondays never stop coming, which means we always have something to do because this is all we do on Monday nights, Liam. I have so many people. I think Humble this past week was like, "What are you doing Monday night? We could try to get some content things together." And I'm like, "Humble, you know exactly what I'm doing on Monday night."
Just don't be silly.
How dare you?
No, that's funny. It is strange. Having done the show numbers to me start getting crazy. I once we got over 100 and I do the math and I'm like, wow, in over 2 years, out of all the Mondays that have come around, I've not been on this stream 5 times or something.
I think I think it's less than that. I don't know. We'd have to ask Steven for like an actual number, but I'm pretty sure it's less than that.
It might be.
I think you've only missed like 3 legitimately.
Yeah, might be. I don't know. It's I don't know. That's fun. It's fun.
No, it's fun. Like, I don't know. I always feel like some of the either most stressful weekends or most relaxed weekends, there are some people who maybe don't expect us to come. I mean, immediately after Milwaukee, here we were, and now here we are after Thanksgiving weekend. And God, I mean, the weekend was honestly incredibly eventful for Lorcana in
Yeah.
general. I mean, just Saturday there were so many just relevant and big tournaments, and then Sunday again relevant big tournaments. A lot of CCQs happened this weekend. A lot of Continentals invites went out.
Yeah, I'm starting to lose track. Like if anybody out there wants to help with some stats keeping, I need to build a spreadsheet that to start gathering some info and all that and keeping track of all the CCQs. Because when the first few happened, it was like, oh man, here's our first, Worlds invite, and here's our second or Continentals invite. Here's our second Continentals invite. And every weekend now it just feels like bam, 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 bam. There's more people. And yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you how many people have their Continentals invite already.
I think 4 went out this weekend.
Yeah, it's awesome
that we know of. But man, I mean, just a lot of really good Lorcana was played all weekend. Not only in the States but overseas. This is great. Starting to actually see that spreading out of invites and spreading out of bigger events with our lack of DLCs this season. Like at first, I kind of felt like, how often are the CCQs really going to happen, or what's the frequency of them going to look like? How's it going to feel? And after this weekend, I feel like there were a lot of people that had opportunities to go and play and have those kind of stakes. And if we have like this amount of frequency of CCQs in between DLCs, at least for this season, I mean, we're not in a shortage of events to go to or watch. I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like with the CCQs, with the third-party tournaments, every weekend there's great Lorcana. Even this next few weeks, we have, Charlie's and then PPG and then a small break for like Christmas and then Richmond. And then the weekend after that, get it on your calendar if you don't have it already. If you want to do a little more Lorcana after Richmond, or perhaps you haven't gotten into Richmond, Miami TCG Con, there'll be a Lorcana tournament as well. Fairly sizable one, and I think PPG may be running that as well. And there'll be people streaming with some fun guests, some fun Lorcana guests flying in from across the ocean. So you won't want to miss that if you can make it.
Why is it that you always know when our overseas friends are coming, and like I never have any idea? Granted, I think those are things that you would know because you talk to them on a regular basis, and I like sporadically will hit up Baker and be like, "How you doing?"
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I know things. Sometimes I like to pretend I know things. In this case, I do know a thing.
Sometimes I am professional.
Sometimes I'm professional. Sometimes it's not so much. But sometimes it's good. So yeah, so a lot of Lorcana going on, and another fun event this week. There were more accents, please, says Steven in the green room. Actually, before I talk about the event, I was going to talk about huge shout out to Singapore for their very first DLC. We'll talk a lot about the meta and the results of that later, but I had to mention it right up front because I feel like all of Singapore is in the chat tonight. I see you there over the hedge here. Ink Toby's in there. Ink Toby, fantastic job broadcasting this weekend. Love to see it. Creep Alpha, Marduk. Look, everybody's in from Singapore. Thanks so much for joining us.
I got to watch a good bit of Singapore, I believe, and again, it was just very, very impressed with the play and deck choices. It's something that I wouldn't have really clocked what top 8 ended up being, honestly. And that feels kind of like every weekend. I mean, we're kind of in a meta where every weekend it feels like the deck to bring is a different ink combination. I mean, we go from week 1 where Sapphire Steel took the first set 10 event to the weekend after where Amethyst Steel was really coming out, and then the weekend after where Ruby Amethyst was in the finals of number 1 and 2 of the largest event that weekend.
Yeah.
Now Blurple is starting to come back. We're starting to see those decks start to come back. Emerald Sapphire and Dogs was in the top 4 of the Wakefield CCQ this weekend,
Yeah.
which Sapphire Steel ended up taking again.
Yeah. We have so many tournaments to talk about. Like I definitely, I'm gonna rely on you a little bit. I'm gonna pick your brain. You tell me where you want to navigate to take a look at decks in a bit, and we'll jump around and take a look at the meta and how things shook out. Just making sure our guests have restream links. Because yeah, and it feels like every tournament matters. It's not like some sets ago where it was like every tournament was either, you know, Blurple or let's say Amethyst Steel, and it's like every single one. And so you didn't learn a ton from every single one, maybe some slight differences in the meta or some small things. But this time it's like, you know, it's so hard to predict. Like who would have predicted that Ruby Amethyst would have won Vegas?
Yeah, right. Not only one was like top 2 in Vegas.
Yeah. Actually, you want to just talk about that now?
Yeah, let's talk about that now.
You want to talk about Vegas like right now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, do you want to talk to the winner of Vegas?
Absolutely.
Right.
That sounds like a really good segue.
Yeah. Let's just do that right now. Let's do that. Hey.
Hey guys.
Hey. A naughty day. Hey, thanks for joining us. I was gonna bring you in later, but you know, Vegas came up, and let's just take a moment to talk about your deck in Vegas and how you're doing and how it feels to be invited to Continentals. Like, I don't know, how are you doing after the tournament?
I mean, I feel great. It's a huge weight off my shoulders, and you know, it was an awesome event. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a lot of work that went into Vegas. It was kind of like one of those not so secrets going into the event that Ruby Amethyst was going to be back in a good deck. And so we had a lot of people on the 20 Lord Discord just kind of rooting everyone on and hoping that we could win. And so, you know, I'm glad we pulled through.
Yeah, not so secrets. The secret was out, you're saying?
We tried to hide it for a while, but Aiden and Baker both played lists that are pretty similar on the LCCC that week, and you know, it started to float around Twitterverse. We got a little bit of too much attention from a meta report that came out that week, and so couldn't hide it any longer.
It's Baker's fault, huh?
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Leave it to Lorcana villain to shout out Ruby Amethyst at the worst time.
But it didn't slow you down at all. So why? I mean, I do want to talk a lot about the tournaments that happened, you know, this weekend, and we'll do that in a little bit. But I do think it's worth, you know, revisiting this a little bit because it did. I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, but like, you know, there was conventional wisdom about what was good in the set, what's been good for a while. Ruby Amethyst was dead for a long time. And then all of a sudden, if you weren't paying attention and you weren't in the 20 Lord Discord, it does feel like all of a sudden it popped up and took down this awesome event. So what makes, and I know we talked a lot about this last night already,
Yeah.
but we'll, you know, revisit it. What makes this the moment for this particular build, and why do you think it was so successful in Vegas?
Yeah, I think the deck was always good. I just think that people didn't have a good structure to build off of at the moment, because a lot of the cards were new from Whispers from the Well. It was a pretty big departure from the standard way of playing Ruby Amethyst from the last set. But you know, we actually kind of identified it about a week before the release of Whispers from the Well. It was doing really well in testing, and there were probably about 3, 4, 5 groups that kind of converged on similar shells of the deck, and because it wasn't picking up traction kind of in the larger content creation world, we kind of just kept it as our little secret for as long as we could. It was kind of like the running joke where, you know, someone has to do well on this event, on this list at some point, and then it's going to blow up. I just got lucky that it kind of timed up well with Vegas, where the meta was shifting kind of away from the decks that the Ruby Amethyst deck was a little bit weak to, towards decks that you could challenge a little bit easier. You had a little bit better matchup spread, and then I just hit, you know, good matchups, players that weren't expecting the deck, and then we also had a list that I think was just really, really refined for where it was that given week.
I think one of the things that people straight up undervalued, and I was one of those people, was the Headless Horseman. Like, at first we kind of saw it and we're like, man, it's not quite Medusa, is it? But there's so many things that he hits that's relevant right now. And not only that, but just being another Lumiere effect on your board and like being able to, I mean, just continuously pump your guys turn after turn. It's one of the cards that, like, while I'm playing right now, I constantly have to keep in the back of my head because, like, all right, well, if they have this, like, the board just swings immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was one card that I think really stood out early on because we're trying to break Demona, because I think the Demona effect, when you exert your opponent's board, you draw 3 cards. That's just really powerful. But what really tipped it over the edge was when you had to have this Horseman in play from the turn before. The Gathering Strength ability just really changed how you could trade. So instead of trading evenly across the board, you were trading all your little guys into their big guys. And so that left you with, essentially 6 to 8 lore left over that would win the game over 2 turns.
Like, so I don't know. I just, out of curiosity, just over the weekend, obviously we know Headless Horseman, we know Demona, like they're pretty well the powerhouses around Ruby Amethyst right now. What other cards would you say were like stand out that maybe you were like, I know this is a good card, but I don't know how it's going to perform, or this one just specifically overperformed consistently?
I would say the 2 cards that really overperformed were the Whisper of Vanessa, the Ursula, and I mean, I don't know if it's really overperforming or not, but I would say like the Cheshire Cat is just, I think, something that really ties the deck together. It gives you the opportunity to like play against Purple Steel and really gum up the non-evasive part of the board so that you can take over the evasive side and win through that.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a fun build. I like that it's out there. I don't know. I like that I mean, we lost a lot of the aggressive decks this meta, but this one is kind of taking on, like, it can be fairly aggressive, not as aggressive as triple drop Daisy, but it's kind of taking on that mantle, and then that combo at the end game is a lot of fun. We're talking a bit about the Hercules last night. You do have him as a one of in there. What's his deal?
Yeah, I think, I mean, the Hercules obviously is really good into the steel decks. It doesn't die to the normal steel removal on turn 4 and 5. And so that's where the advantage comes in. And then usually it'll trade in for 1 character when you exert it the next turn. And then it will take another character out on the trade back. So it's a nice little kind of tempo play. The only downside, I think, is that it's an uninkable in the same slot as Genie. So it's really hard to play both on curve all the time. And so you have to make decisions kind of in your early altar, kind of what you want in a certain matchup.
There's also just so much in the deck he immediately protects. I mean, Peter Pan, Sisu, Dumbo. I'm not gonna lie. There was like one time in testing that like I was playing Amethyst Steel against Ruby Amethyst, and I tried to strength the Dumbo while Hercules was sideways, and I was like, "No, Dumbo's a hero. I forgot. My plans have been foiled."
Yeah. He's a weird hero, I guess. I don't know. He's a hero in the literary sense of the term, I guess. The story.
I don't know. Like I've enjoyed Hercules. He's just one of those cards that it forces interactions, or it forces your opponent to do certain things in a certain order. And I think cards like that are really valuable, even if they are uninkable. Like kind of like you said, it's awkward to play him because your 4-drop slot is already so contested with Genie, Iago, Dumbo, like pretty much the lifeblood of your deck. But just as a cheeky one-up that sometimes forces your opponent like, okay, I have to take out Hercules or I can't touch like a good portion of the other pieces on the board. He's been surprising for me.
Yeah. So question another day before, like last couple of questions of this. One, now that the secret's out, and you're not surprising many people with this deck, does this deck still have legs in tournament play, or is it one of those that, like, now that people have seen it, understand it, know what to look for, it's less relevant and impressive? What do you think?
I think it still has legs. I think there's obviously going to be some degree of adaptation that's going to have to come as the meta evolves. But I think the purple core is the same as the amethyst steel core, and so it gives you the opportunity to really play a longer game of Lorcana. And I think people who are good at kind of setting up boards, taking finding ways of generating card advantage, anticipating essentially what your opponents are going to be doing in the next several turns, really are the ones that are going to take advantage of that and be more successful in the long run. And I think it's also just one of those decks that takes advantage of awkward draws from your opponents, takes advantage of mistakes from your opponents. And so I think it is high skill expression deck. And I think people who will gravitate to it and get more practice and more reps with it will be more successful with it in the long run. So I think it'll be here in the meta probably for the rest of Whispers.
That's awesome.
I mean, just to like mirror that, obviously on Maelstrom, we talked about it a lot. It feels really reminiscent to like the set 3 Ruby Amethyst, where the better you are with thinking turns ahead as far as board control and understanding when to really capitalize on card advantage, when to hold back, when to start pushing for board, when to start pushing for just more cards in general. Those are the players you're going to see that make it to the top tables consistently with Ruby Amethyst. And just like you said, I genuinely think that there are enough tools now with Whispers. You can adapt the deck to whatever meta you're expecting to see and just start to change it and fluctuate, which has always been the power of Ruby Amethyst, right? Like all of your tech cards have a function and have a purpose, and whatever you're expecting to see this coming week, you can make changes to attack those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, appreciate you stopping by. Like this deck is a ton of fun, and I before I ask you my final question, I do want to say I had the opportunity for the audience. I had the opportunity to sit down, with you last night, very, very late, but chatted for a while about your deck, and definitely if you're looking for somebody, another like great player to follow, I know you hang out a lot in the 20 Lore Pro Discord. Like the way that you talk about the game, the way you talk about your lines, the way that you see the meta is really, really good. And if you're looking for coaching on this color combo, like hit up Another Day. Like it definitely can't go wrong. Because there are players that are great, and there's players that are also really good at communicating and conveying like information, and you're really good at both those things. So definitely somebody whose brain I'm going to pick quite a bit more in the future.
Yeah, for anyone that wants to ask questions, I'm always available on DM. So feel free.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 200 DMs immediately.
Yeah, there it goes. You can find it very active in the 20 Lore Pro Discord. So head over there if you want to find it out a day. But last question, I'm going to ask our other guests tonight, or the other host tonight. CCS coming up this weekend. Bunch of us are going to be there. It's going to be a CCQ. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of top players. What are your predictions for what deck is going to win? And are there any player? I won't say predict a player that's going to win, but are there any players that you kind of have your eye on, and that you think is going to crack the finals?
I think it's tough. I think the meta is kind of shaping up to be much more Sapphire friendly. I think in the upcoming weeks, I think Emerald Sapphire's got the most power, and it always has been. It's always just been held down a little bit by other people kind of playing against it. So I'm gonna put my bet on Emerald Sapphire, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Fungus, who just shouted me out.
Yeah,
because he's an awesome player. I think he's been working on that deck for the better part of almost several months at this point, and so I think he's gonna have a good showing.
Okay. I can see that. Fumbles is awesome player. Also really just fun, like really fun content. So I see you down there. The duck. The duck is a reference to your name, Another Day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so funny. All right. Well, Logan, any more questions before we say goodbye?
We did have one more green room question. Why the name Cocoa Birds?
There's a not so PG answer to that. So I wanted to give the deck a name that was kind of reminiscent of kiwi birds, because it felt a lot like the Blue Steel Tempo deck, but because it wasn't the old Ruby Amethyst control list, and it was like, this sounds interesting. It looks like a Coke can on the Dreamborn.
Okay.
So that'll be the PG answer. But if you've seen me post it elsewhere, there's actually another answer than that. It's a lot of fun. It's a very fast deck, and playing Horseman and Demona offers an adrenaline rush that you don't get playing anything else.
Okay.
We have separate answers.
Yeah,
we have Disney approved answers always here on the Illumineers.
Yep. Yeah, we keep it family friendly. Most of the time. Anyway, no, thanks so much for stopping by. Super fun to chat with you. And yeah, I hopefully I can get that video done. But anyway, definitely look forward to picking your brain in the future. And thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for having me on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fantastic player in person.
No, I mean, anybody who takes down a CCQ, like, huge congrats, especially in set 10 meta. Set 10 meta is so vastly different from set 9. I'm not even saying from like a skill standpoint. I'm just saying from like the amount of cards and outs that you have to have in your head. I feel like we were fairly limited in options in set 9. So even if you were a great deck builder and you were a great player and kept things conscious, there were just limited options compared to what we have now. So anybody who takes out a CCQ constantly has to have all of the new cards in their mind as they're doing it. It has to have all of the, I guess you could say, new ink combinations, because I mean, genuinely, there's 8 to 10 relevant decks right now that you have to cycle through in your mind. I mean, it's a huge feat. Taking down CCQ in any right's a huge feat, but like, shout out to anybody who doesn't set 10. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I agree. And also huge props for bringing in a deck that, again, people who knew that it was a good deck and had legs, etc. But, when you're a good player, the easy thing to do is just grab what is known as like the best deck and bring it in, knowing that you're going to play it better than anybody else. So fun to see, people carrying that in. So, okay, well, let's move on. Let's bring on someone else I'm excited to hang out with for the rest of the night, and I'm excited to hang out with next weekend. We're getting the CCS crew together here. It's Katie from the Lore Keepers Inn.
I'm here.
She's
Hey,
here.
Katie.
She's here.
It kind of looks like me and Zenulus are in the same room, but we're not. We're just in two generic beige white rooms. It's kind of wild how many.
Actually,
beige rooms
hold
we
on. It probably warrants this.
Yeah, right.
You could be in this corner at any point in time.
Yeah, this I
knows,
think makes it
but
look
as
even
you
better.
can
There you
tell,
go.
I have 4 boxes on my door. He has 2. Very vastly different stuff here.
As you can see, like, screeching the differences from the Midwest.
This is Nebraskan style in Iowa. It's very different.
It's a very different culture
flavors.
out here.
But
That whole part of the world is just a giant blob to me. I don't.
it is. Honestly, it's a
Sorry,
blob
rest
to
of
me,
yours.
and I'm in it. I am in
Yeah,
it,
here.
and I am. It's a gelatinous cube.
Speaking of, do you have snow that you're having to
yes.
deal with?
Yes, yeah.
Because
But
it has been raining. It's been snowing nonstop since Saturday, and I want it to go away. I am so over it.
it is crazy, right? Like, it's so weird how you kind of are like, wow, snow, and then within like 12 hours, you're like, okay, I get it. We did it. It's not Christmas, so there's no reason for this.
Look, I would argue there's no, like, the amount of snow we're getting. This is like we had torrential downpour of snow, and now it's just everywhere. And now we're in that gross phase where like there's slush and ice, and we're just like, this isn't a magical wonderland anymore. This is impeding my life, and I would love less of that.
Yeah.
I always love the idea of snow.
Yes.
And then I get snow, and then it's.
Yeah. Well, if you get snow, it's an apocalypse. Where you are,
Oh yeah,
it was happening. It's over. But Texas, I remember one time it snowed in San Antonio, and it was bedlam. We didn't know what to do. It was absolute chaos.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, so just to like piggyback off of Liam's thing, the idea of snow, I feel like, is when you watch any of the Santa Claus, Adam Sandler movies, and you're just like, wow, that looks so awesome. And in a way, like a blanket, you go outside and it's just kind of there. But then in real life, they never show you like the 3 or 4 days after.
Yeah.
Where, like, everything's like gross and murky, and like
They're gray. It's a gray life out there.
It's very gray. There's no Christmas lights. There's no like magical Santa Claus coming around, or people who are just like, oh man, just cheery to be outside with like, their parkas and their hats with little floofs on them. Like, no, everybody's upset and angry because it's cold and they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Yep. That
Liam,
describes me. Yo.
You said what you think is going to happen at CCS. And I was like, I'm glad you said that. And I was listening to the green room because I was like, I had to think about it.
Yep.
And then, have you seen Indiana Jones, Mr. Jones, if you will, Professor Jones, I believe?
Indeed. Which version of Mr. Jones are
I'm
you
not sure
referring
which
to?
one this is from, but there's a scene. So I feel like the meta right now is the guy with the whip, where everybody's trying to make their fancy stuff, and they're like, and I feel like the deck that's going to win is Amethyst Steel with its gun that's just like, boom, I got card draw and removal, and like I feel like that's what we're all going to happen is we're all going to try to do something really cool and really fun and all these fun little brews, and Amethyst Steel just shows them like Doc off the top, and everyone claps, and they're like, honestly, we love it, Genie, Doc.
Yep.
So it's hard, right? Because I just feel like there are so many dazzling things, but
yeah, it's like I've been here the whole time.
I don't want it to happen
the whole time.
But if you think about it, it's just such a reliable deck. It's like it's got removal and it's got some challenging, it's got some aggro, it's got some card draw, it's got everything really. It doesn't do anything like extremely well, but in the fact it does everything pretty okay, it's like a stunning. It's hard to complain, but it is not. I feel bad because I was casting with Rebecca during the DLC and I said, you know, Amethyst Steel isn't a very dazzling deck. And then we had to cut to break. And then she's like, well, I think it is pretty dazzling. And then we had to go to break. I didn't get to explain why. It is dazzling in the fact it's not dazzling because it dazzles in its mediocrity and success. I don't know. Am I going to get canceled by the Amethyst Steel fans out there?
I think it's like, so if you ever talk to Tiago, for instance, about Amethyst Steel, he's on multiple occasions, especially in set 9 when I was picking it up and trying to push it, he was like, I don't know why anybody plays this deck. It's the most fair thing. It's kind of like whenever you talk to Noam Not Kendall about Ruby Amethyst in its heyday. He was like, I don't know why anybody plays this deck. It's like 40% into everything. But somehow Tiago now is just showing us the deck that's, you know, even into everything can just crush. Just much like Kendall did back in the day, where he's like, man, this deck that's mediocre. But then like you see them pilot it and you're just like, oh, well, you know, of course it just wrecks everything because you have the answers for everything.
You do. It's just, it does everything pretty okay. And in a room where you don't know what's going to be there, it just feels like, well, you'll probably be fine. Just keep driving. Just drive down the middle of the road.
Just keep driving. It'll get there.
You're probably fine. Just keep playing characters, keep drawing cards, keep doing a little bit of removal. You're good. That's all you need. You did a good Disney Lorcana out there.
You did it. Good Disney Lorcana. What a phrase.
So I do so much to talk about tonight, but I want to get to Singapore in a moment because we have some great guests to bring in. Before we do that, I'm kind of like sprinkling some of the other news throughout. I did want to give a shout out to Luke, aka Wonderland, for a tournament that ran over the weekend. This Question for Charity, fun tournament with a bunch of creators playing, a bunch of commentators. The goal, you can see here, this little dot, was to raise $1,000 for the Trevor Project, and they actually raised $2,330. So the Lorcana community doing great things.
Yeah, it was really cool because, like, for people who weren't able to tune in, the way it works is like this was the first one, and people were playing for the right to pick the next charity. So this one was a Trevor Project. Then everybody came to the tournament with their own charity, and then Habibi won, and I believe he did Sick Kids, which is a Canadian charity that helped children who are sick, and so that's the next one. And so it's kind of fun because you get the right to help do this for your own favorite charity, which I thought was very cool. That's like a fun way of doing it where you get to kind of pay the momentum forward.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun and great to watch Fun Lorcana. Great to watch Fun Lorcana. Fun to watch Great Lorcana. Great to watch Great Lorcana and fun to watch Fun Lorcana. You can take it any way you want, but it was a lot of fun. Great creators, great commentators, and it was just fun hanging out and watching that number creep higher and higher. And you know, it's great to play the game. It's great to hang out with friends, but it's great to benefit a worthy cause while you're doing it. So I enjoyed that very much. I have to admit, I jumped into some phone calls last night and I didn't see who won.
Habibi.
Okay.
Habibi on the dogs.
Nice.
Yeah. Which is great because I mean he was running the dogs with Joseph Quigley up in Canada, ETB. Both of them were really, really loving that as their pet deck. Very fun. The dogs was their pet deck, and it was kind of fun to see him kind of say, you know what? No, I'm not changing. I'm keeping the dogs. I'm taking the dog. That's what he said.
There's also a really good
He
finals.
didn't get it. He didn't get my Jenna Coolidge. Sorry, but yes, the finals was fumbles. Right?
It was fumbles. Yeah, Blurple versus dogs.
Yeah, which honestly, he put up a good fight, right?
No, he did. Like game 2 was, I mean, just really, really close. It came down to Habibi needing a go-go, like needing to trade his board in to like get go-go value. And it's just one of those things where like you just after a certain point you can't play around it. Like if you have it, you have it. But it very quickly almost was just a 2-0 in Blurple's favor over Dogs, which is not what you would expect to see in that
No,
matchup.
I mean Fumbles literally said in the end of the semifinals was I'm just about to go get my butt kicked by Dogs, and so I tuned out for like a little bit and came back, and I was like, Fumbles, you're in this game still? Oh my goodness. We got hats. Somewhere is Erin going, no. Is she in the other room screaming in abject horror?
I feel like I owe it to the. I've had this box sitting here. I'm meaning to do a short like
unboxing of the hats.
Unboxing it, but
he's entering the battlefield right now, folks.
Totally.
This is the coolest Liam's ever looked. He's got like the
right. Look at that.
flat bill cap.
I've never worn. Full disclosure: I've never worn a flat brimmed cap in my life. This is first time.
It is a whimsical hat situation. What is the flat bill for? Whose head is that for? We don't know.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, you would fit right in my deathcore touring days. I mean, you look just like anybody who would walk in, or you'd be that guy who's sitting in the corner who is the vocalist of one of the bands, and nobody pays attention to you because you just blend into the crowd so well until you step on stage.
It's the Powerline shirt that does it, right?
It is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. It was very fun. I think the coolest part of the tournament yesterday was a lot of times as when we cast, we're like, okay, who are we going to do for the feature match? Which one's interesting? It was a tournament where all of them were super interesting, which was very fun because it was 16 players that all brought cool decks and have cool stories. And so it was a feast. We had Thanksgiving feast and we feasted on some great Lorcana.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of feasting, we have a feast of amazing guests waiting in the green room. That was terrible. But I do want to bring in our other guests because I want to get to Singapore, the latest DLC. To do that, we have two guests waiting. I'm going to bring them in one at a time because first, there is one person I've tried to have on the show for the last few weeks, and it's on me. Terrible communication. I left Avery hanging. But Avery, before I knew he was at Singapore, was a creator I wanted to bring on because he did a series of videos on his channel, Quest for Two, that I absolutely loved and wanted to raise awareness of. So I'm going to bring in Avery right now. Avery, how's it going?
Hey guys, sorry I'm on my phone. I couldn't, but I'm in my home office and unfortunately the internet doesn't seem stable enough for for the stream, so I had to resort to using mobile technology. But yeah, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Excellent. And just to say, like, Monday night is about making it work. I can't tell you how many times Lee and I have had the issues of like either being in a hotel and having to speak through headset mics or something like that. So making it work, man. That's just the theme of Monday nights.
Spirit.
That's how we do. Yeah. No. Thanks for joining us. Actually, I'm going to get up your YouTube channel here. I had it up and then my computer rebooted. But can you talk a little bit about your channel and like what kind of content you do before I rave about your video series?
Sure. So it's a fairly new thing. I started, quite recently when I entered I guess I am still in a period of, unemployment. But essentially, I consume a lot of YouTube content, not just on Lorcana, but just in general across other games or sports as well. Things I don't even play. I watch, chess. I watch Scrabble. I watch competitive Pokemon, and I feel like Dota even. So there's just a lot of Lorcana to discuss the micro decision.
I think
your connection is a little choppy.
Oh, sorry.
We can see you now.
Yeah.
Okay, so long story short, I think that there's plenty of content out there to discuss, what's the latest deck to play, what's the hot thing that's happening in a certain tournament, what's the latest tech, but less so the micro decisions that come in with what card to ink on a certain turn, how do I sequence my plays, basically the things that are not so, I guess, sexy to talk about. But actually everybody goes through in any given game of Lorcana. So I'm trying to, I guess my interest is in trying to discuss those in greater detail and bring more awareness to those. So yeah, it's very, very new, and as you can see, the editing is spotty and not consistent whatsoever. I'm still learning. So the first two videos that we did discussing the Milwaukee Frank Carsten, and I'm banking on the name, but it was a Purple Steel player against a Blurple player. Watching the game at home, and I felt like there were a lot of decision points that were visible based on the fact that we could see the hands that made the games actually very interesting to discuss in terms of sequencing. So then, and all right, you know what? I take the leap and I'm gonna make a video on it. So I did. Drop yesterday is slightly different. It's kind of going in depth into the card Hades. Guys, sorry. Did I drop again?
Yeah, it's a little choppy. We're
It's just
getting
a little
like a
choppy.
good segment, and then it gets a little choppy after a moment. So, but we got all the
Alright,
way
give me
up
a
to
second.
you
I'll see
dropped
what
the
I can
Hades
do.
video. But while you're moving,
All right.
I will say,
I hope this is better.
like I don't know how I found this video about your turn by turn with Frank and Carlos, but I thought it was very, very good. And the way that you diagnose each play, each inking decision, and then talk about the implications of it and alternate lines of play and how we see certain decisions manifest turns later. I thought it was very, very, very good, and I really enjoyed it a lot. And I thought it was a shame that it didn't have more visibility. So it's long. Well, actually, it's not that long. I felt like it was
It's not
longer.
that long.
Yeah.
No, they're all like 20, 24
20,
minutes.
yeah. So, but very, very good. I really enjoyed the video. So I wanted more people to see it.
And
No,
I think
I will say, like, as soon as Liam saw it, he sent it to our group chat and was like, guys, this is content that we haven't seen a lot of before. And it's something people who do coaching and who've talked about the game since, it's come out. The hardest parts of the game are the alter and ink decisions per turn and seeing how they play out. And the way you go over them, I mean, it's great. And we need more content like this. So I'm so glad that somebody's doing it and doing it well like you are.
Hey, thanks very much. Yeah, I mean, those videos took actually a crazy amount of work, as you can imagine. Like, you're just watching a game. It goes on, and if you were to narrate the decisions, it's fairly, you just say what's happening. And when it's sequencing on board, it's fairly easy to observe, right? But when it comes down to inking and when it comes down to alters, and when you're trying to see whether it's correct or to make a point on that, then you got to kind of rewind back. What did he have 2 turns ago? What went into the ink? Can I even see his hand at this point? And then, or maybe, I can't actually. Let's try and find a different moment where I can see his hand. And then you fast forward, 5 turns later, what's his hand now? And then you try to reconstruct what's going on, because unfortunately in competitive tournaments you don't have hand cams. So it really did take quite a lot of almost borderline forensic analysis of like zooming in. I'm like, I think this corner of this card kind of looks like second star, but I'm not sure. In order to
Might be
in
the
order to
third
put
star. Who knows?
I will say, you mentioned that the editing, you're like, well, it's not where I want it to be. I'm like, no, that's the pro tip, is you want to have like kind of, not your best editing. So then like in a year from now, you can look back and be like, remember when my videos look like this, guys? My humble beginning. So I think that's what you want to do. Don't start too professional with the editing.
Yeah, I do hope it will actually improve. I mean,
it does. That's a natural progression, and then you can always, in your retrospective in a year. I'm excited for it. But I love that you are talking about, like you said, it's not always the most exciting. It's not like a costume or something flashy or a boxing. It's talking about like the nuts and bolts, which is something that sometimes we don't think about on our own. And it's nice to have somebody kind of jog that conversation and get your brain thinking the way you need to win.
Show the Simba, the chat says.
Show the Simba.
Yes, that immediate evil laugh, like
don't ask me twice.
So not to jump the gun or anything, but I was at the Singapore DLC because I'm Singaporean. I'm based in Singapore, hence the strange accent. And I didn't do very well, but long story short, but I did manage to buy or cobble enough points together to get this bad boy.
That is,
Oh,
that is not just a
man.
Simba. That's the Simba. That's incredible.
Man.
Yeah. I'm not.
I'm
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't say it so loud in front of Simba, but it was not my first choice. There were 4 oversized cards. The first was a Dumbo. They got sniped up by I think Chris Oyola by the
Oh.
5th round.
Okay.
The second choice was Stitch Carefree Surfer, and as I was gathering, literally holding the points in my hand and walking up to the counter, I see someone redeem the Stitch. So I'm like, dang, I'm left with this Simba and a 2-drop Mickey Mouse that gives something challenger, like a 2 cost 1/3 or something like that. And I was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna go for the Mickey. It's Mickey. But then just staring at the card frame and looking at it, I'm like, no, I can't bring myself to pick a not great 2-drop. I'm going with the Simba. So yeah, that's how we ended up with the Simba.
I
But
love
still,
that.
like the artwork on Simba this set is so good. So having it blown up is just, I don't know.
Yeah.
The artwork is amazing. So if you're gonna pick one, I think that's definitely the right
Mhm.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will be finding. I myself had coveted the giant Carefree Surfer, and I waited around Gen Con. I was like, maybe they'll forget it, maybe something, maybe, and they didn't. So I'm gonna get a giant card one day. I'm gonna manifest it. It hasn't happened yet. I've been trying to manifest it. So congrats on
Wait, so
getting.
you could get the Carefree Surfer?
No. At Gen Con, me and Liam, we each got to reveal a giant card.
Oh,
and we were like,
right,
"We get to
right,
take
right,
this,
right,
right?"
okay.
And they said, "You don't get to take it." And I was like, "What if I steal it?" They said, "You don't get to steal it. You know you are going to steal it, and it'd be hard to hide."
Yeah.
It would.
And they're like,
So,
now
but
we
congrats.
know.
Yeah. So congrats on getting yours through non-illegal means. That's actually the right way to do it, is to not have to steal it, not to do a heist.
Yeah. I'm saving this wall space right here for
Right.
so anybody out there watching, like let me
Ta-da!
I got things to trade.
Well, see, what you want is the big Aurora Dreaming Guardian. You don't even
Yes. Oh
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
like,
got to be
don't
something.
even pretend that like you actually want to stitch over her. Like that's not even.
No.
No.
That card that's like my Lorcana Grail at this point. Like out of
Yes.
anything I could pot a golden Mickey, whatever. Like that is the one item that I want.
It
That
belongs
one.
in a
It's in a
museum.
closet somewhere.
I
I'm
know.
sure.
We confirmed that they said, yeah, we took it back. We put it with the stuff. And I was like, can I get it the stuff? Can I go to the stuff closet? Where's the stuff closet? I need it. But I think
You know,
that's
it's a
very
Ravensburger HQ just sitting there.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's very cool that they have those cards as prizes, because I think that's just something in the community. If you get it, you get it. If you understand the allure of a giant card, you're like, I'm getting one of those.
Yeah, I was getting so many questions, and everybody's just saying, you could print it yourself, right? And I'm like, that's not the point.
No. I feel like this is the same thing that people say about like the Set Champs Championship playmat. They're like, you can print it yourself, right? It's like it's not the same.
Not the same.
Yeah, exactly.
I won that. I do. I want to talk much more about Singapore because it was an incredible event for a lot of different reasons. And to do that, let's bring in our final guest for now. Who knows? We always have surprise guests here. We sometimes have surprise guests here. But anyways, the only other guest waiting in the green room is Dave, one of the head judges at Singapore. So really excited to welcome him in. Hey, Dave.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
What's going on? A bad player, eh?
Yeah, we me and 2 other buddies have a podcast here out in Singapore that we do called Bad Players Podcast. It's Brandon, Andrew, Dave. So we do that for our little share of content out here. But yeah, I had the privilege of being the head stream judge at DLC Singapore this weekend, coordinating the match on stream as well as working with the production crew and Toby and Brian directly, stuff like that.
As soon as you said you have a podcast, I was like, of course you do. You have the perfect podcast voice.
I know. Oh, thank you.
Oh, I thought he was about to. Yeah, I know. Thanks. I've told
I
this my
know.
whole life. That's why I'm doing it.
No, thanks so much for making the time on short notice. I think like
course.
yesterday night I was like texting people, and Toby was like, "Yeah, you should talk to Dave. He'll jump on." And yeah, Flash to Bang was like less than 24 hours. So what, like, for both of you who are out there, what, like, before we can talk about the winner, we can talk about the meta. We're gonna do that. But what was it like having like an official Disney Lorcana event in Singapore? Just what was that like having that out there in that community?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we've been waiting for 2 years now. So some background for me. I moved here 2 years ago, right after official Lorcana release. So I picked up a lot of cards back in the States when I was there, and I was able to find this community at Hideout, one of the stores. They were the only ones doing Lorcana tournaments for 2 years. So we had a really, really big, passionate community there. And then now, since the official release, when Fabled was released, something like 50 other stores picked it up. So this had this massive explosion, like set one back in the States, where just so many people were interested, so many people. So the fact that we were able to get this ready at the start of set 10 was like so many people's just aspirations, being able to take a quick MRT ride to a venue and play at such a large and wonderful tournament.
That's awesome.
I mean, so I imagine it's kind of like when we first got, our first DLC in the States, right? I mean, there's just something special about an official event that it's not really captured in like, your local 2Ks, 5Ks, 1Ks, whatever. There's a special piece of the stream, having the prize wall there and seeing all the things you can get. I mean, there's just something that's, you can't replicate it anywhere else in any other competitive game I've been a part of. Like, this just has felt so special. But I do have a question about, just as far as, you were the stream judge, correct? So you were there watching over all the stream games. Did you ever feel kind of like a pressure, kind of more so than normal, just because it is such it's an official event, obviously, big for Singapore because it's the first time you've had something like that. Was there kind of like an extra pressure on your head? It's like, I have to pay attention. I have to know what's going on so I can make sure that we're upholding, the integrity that we're expecting to see at high level events like this.
Yeah, if you asked me on Saturday, I would have said no, it would have been fine. But full transparency now, yeah, I was terrified that something was going to go wrong and it was all my fault. But thankfully, we had zero issues, nothing beyond like a boost question. Thankfully, the game is quite easy to, the rules are quite simple. The amount of questions that you have ruling wise or interactions that aren't on the card are pretty minimal, and most of the players that we pull up on stream are experienced in the game to know, and they always hold their opponents accountable and things like that. So it's thankfully that the players help in that aspect for this game. So it was really, really nice.
I mean, one of my questions I had is from the outside. Sometimes we will naturally follow players that we know from the States. But what was the kind of makeup in the room as far as like what percentage were people that traveled from other countries versus local people to Singapore?
Yeah, so we have the rule here that everything has to be English cards. So that did kind of unfortunately hinder some players, like a lot of Chinese or Japanese players. They get their cards in Chinese and Japanese. So it's harder for them to get English cards, and there aren't too many single shops here in Singapore where they can do that. So they have to buy from the States or EU to get their English cards, which, it's hard because if you have to get the 60 card deck, but you don't know what you're playing, there's a 15 card variant, you have to buy so much extra stuff. So a lot of people just don't do it. They'll take the L and just not come. But I will say, actually, the vast majority were representatives of Singapore. I don't have an exact number, but I was scrolling through the Excel file on Friday, and it had to be at least 300 plus people that were all Singaporean, with a few Thai, Malay, Indo, some Japanese, some Chinese still, and then a lot of Westerners.
Yeah, I love that. I think I think it's cool. I think it's cool that people travel for events because I think it's a good reason to get people to be like, I'm traveling. But I also think it's very exciting to see locals be like, haha, we got this. We finally got our event in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, no, we were just genuinely really, really happy. We're looking forward to this for so long. So I'm hoping that the hype doesn't immediately die down now that the Singapore DLC is over. I really hope that we continue this momentum that we have here. But we'll see. We have Hong Kong coming up in February, still set 10. So
that's gonna be exciting. Avery, what do you think? Like, how is having the event like in your neck of the woods? Yeah, how was it?
No, I mean it was unbelievable. 391 person tournament. Before that, I think the largest tournament I've played in Singapore for Lorcana had like maybe 80 plus. So shooting up to such a way bigger venue. It's an official distributor, so they have all this kind of like merch stands and like standees where you can take photos with, and it's all your characters. They're blasting like I've Got a Dream on radio, or the games are going on. So I don't know, it just felt way more official. Everybody was very friendly. The stakes felt high. It was a best of one tournament as well, by the way. So everybody's really keen not to make any silly errors that you might make if you were just playing on autopilot. And yeah, it was an absolute blast. I started the tournament 0-2, so I from the get go I know, all right, that's it, I'm out, because it's a 7-rounder. But then it allowed me to kind of really soak it in and enjoy the rest of the experience. Yeah, it was just a great time. I'm gonna go to Hong Kong as well for the Hong Kong DLC. It's still part of, even though Hong Kong's not in Southeast Asia, it's part of the Southeast Asia like loop, I think, because of the distributor. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to attending more of these. It was really, really, really fun. It was really fun to see players that we recognize, from watching on YouTube or whatever, fly in to try and claim the golden Mickey away from our region as well. which some of them were successful in doing, I think. In fact, I don't think a single golden Mickey went to a Singaporean player, but that's all right. Yeah, it was just cool to see familiar faces that you wouldn't get to see in person, like right there in the flesh, and he's next to you, and his hands are shaking because he's also as stressed as you are in your games. Yeah, it was awesome.
So, I mean, like, just a couple of things to touch on. You said, my day started off 0-2, and so I was like, oh, I was able to de-stress. Some of the best comeback stories or, like, tournament runs have started when somebody's like, oh, yeah. My DLC tournament, I started off 0-2, and here I go. I mean, like, Zan Syed and Milwaukee.
The Mo Shamblin method.
Mo Shamblin also had that. Who was it? Who was the Dogs player? Which DLC was it? Started off 0-2, ended up making it to the finals.
Was
it the finals or top 8? I forget.
I don't remember. It wasn't Diego in Toronto, is it?
No, it wasn't Diego. No, it was an overseas DLC. Anyway, it was just one of those moments where you just hear of the story of like, man, I almost dropped because my day started off 0-2, and then all of a sudden I just win like 7 in a row. It
did feel that way for me. So I was 0-2. I'm like, I'm out because it's 7 rounds. Tiebreakers. If you go 0-2, it's unlikely you have good tiebreakers like heading into the final rounds. And because at best you're just going to bubble. The bubble was 5-2, so I won 3 in a row. And I'm like, I guess I got the Mulan, which was kind of at that point the goal. Or actually, I wanted the Mulan, and then it hits round 6, and I'm like, hold on a second, I'm at table 45. At 3, when I started 0-2, there's actually a shot here, because I'm in like the top 90 players of the standings. So if I just rattle off 2 more wins, then maybe we might be in and about it. And then I promptly got beat. So I had an anti-climax of like kind of, we can do it, and then it just collapsed. But it's all right. I was fine with it at the point because going into that, I was already thinking I'm out. So the fact that I might have a chance and there's a small sliver of hope, and then it goes back to I'm out. It's it doesn't hurt that much, honestly. So it's totally fine.
But you got to win your 3rd favorite giant card.
Yeah. That was available.
That was available. How was Best of One? Both of you. What'd you all think of Best of One?
So I'll go first. Hi, Dave, by the way.
Hey, everybody. We've interacted quite a few times.
I'm sure, yeah.
So I don't think it's great at selecting the best player to win a tournament. I think there's a lot of variance in a given round. That being said, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it because firstly, we get 25 minutes for one game as opposed to 55 or 50 minutes for 3 games. There's a lot more time to take your decisions. On a personal kind of level, I felt I had a lot more intentionality in my choices because I had more time to think them through. I could process every single minor aspect of it. That being said, there's lots of variance in Lorcana, especially on who wins the die roll. Because, if you're rolling dice to see who goes first and it's only best of one, that's already, 60% favored, regardless of what deck you're playing. So that's not fantastic. But still, there are some perks to it. If I could do something to improve best of one, which as a compromise between having shorter tournaments in terms of the runtime, but also improve the skill expression and competitive aspect of it, I might add more rounds. So instead of doing Swiss only to where there's a single player at 7-0, let's say we did 7 rounds to 391 players, the number 7-0, right? Let's do 10 rounds instead. I think that might help decrease the variance. Secondly, I would also like to say that having die rolls in the best of one tournament is not great So if you could do something like chess tournaments where, you know, in this game one, you're going to go first, you're going to go second, and it's kind of like pre-allocated, so that there's no die rolling or no. There is still luck factor, but there's not a luck factor on a given game by game basis, and where the tournament organizers by and large try and make sure everybody gets roughly the same numbers of going first and going second. If those two things can be arranged, then I think having a best of one tournament might not actually be that, might not be as bad as it sounds, because it does sound pretty terrible to anyone who's played, you know, this game on a slightly more competitive level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
about Dave?
sorry, go ahead.
And what about Dave?
Yeah. So I have a really unique perspective on this because I come from a variety of TCGs from the States, all best of 3, most with side decks. And then you come here, and you know, I came here before playing Lorcana here. I play a lot of Pokemon here, and they're also best of 1s. It's much more of the culture here to do best of 1s, mainly for just time. People just, you know, you go to 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock locals in the States, and you're there for 3 hours or 4 hours. Here, you know, you don't. Time's a little bit more valuable. You start later in the day because people work more here. So it's different culture. I've come to like it a little bit because it is very efficient and very quick. However, in a competitive setting, I don't necessarily like it, just because you do have that variance of a die roll. I think in games with outside decks, I do think a best of 2 format is most ideal. Just don't give the extra point if they win 2 games. But I actually, before the tournament began, I actually was having a lot of discussions about how I actually don't think a Westerner would perform well given the best of 1 format, because I think that I would expect someone here, whether it would be probably a Japanese player or Chinese player, because they are experts in best of 1. They're very high rolly decks. However, I ate all my words, and all top 4 were Westerners, or well, all but 1 were Westerners. So yeah, I think that the purple seal consistency really dominated that, where other decks like any blue ramp decks don't have the other 2 games to fix the inconsistency that they have, and that really was what really I think drive the forward. Wet Whale right there. The try again is the A in bad player. That's Andrew. You got top 16.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
He built a very, very good blue steel deck that is just 1-drop Mulans, Naomi's, just constantly draw discard, using the Cinderellas to cycle and ramp and Goliath the cycle. He never has more than 2 cards in his hand. Absolutely flawless best of 1 deck. Unfortunately, just bricked in his top 16 game. I think my biggest criticism for the tournament is best of 1's fine if you're going to do a 1-day tournament. I would like to see best of 3 before playing for the Golden Mickey. We should have enough time to do something like that. I would like that, but you know, it all depends on the vibes and things like that. So
I think it's something we talked about in Best of 2 a lot. Like, if you're going to do this format and you're going, like, this is the choice that we're going to do moving forward. How do you make it feel like the room is evened out? You know, like, as we know in Lorcana, like, the die roll matters a lot. One thing that we talked about was when you sit down at a table before you roll the die, like, maybe everybody has the ink tokens of like what your ink combination is. Doesn't tell everybody what the cards are in your deck, but it helps you with your altar, right? So then a little bit more skill expression comes through, because the altar also is arguably the most important piece of, you know, the beginning of any game in Lorcana. So instead of, you know, sitting down in a best of 1 or a best of 2 and playing against somebody who's built an intentionally high rolly deck, just trying to, for lack of a better way of saying it, you know, maybe play solitaire to figure out what their combo is. You have an idea of like, okay, maybe this is what they're going for, and you have an idea of this is what I have in my deck to possibly counter this. That's something we talked about. I think personally that would be something that would be cool, but I don't know how you guys feel over there about that.
At this point, I think there are probably more players who are upset at a best of 1 and they're willing to try anything, but you know, it kind of is what it is for now. Which we don't like. I'm not against the best of 1. I'll play whatever format's here. I'm just happy there's a tournament here to play. Yeah. You can see a lot of discomfort from Westerners on it, which, like, I understand. It was so different coming here when I moved here initially to have that vibe. But the colors are interesting. Adjusting it, just trying to make it more of a skill based instead of a luck based. I think any feedback is more than welcome.
I do think, though, best of one, on the draw during the altar, there's actually quite an insane amount of skill expression there. Because if you're going second, you actually now get the additional benefit of getting to see what your opponent inked first. I know that's true for every game, but in a best of one, that matters way more. So if I get to see what he inks before I commit my first ink and continue my game plan, it therefore affects how I alter my hand. And so one thing that I noticed when I was playing Sapphire Emerald, something like Under the Sea, for example, I was way more willing to keep on the draw in the opener because I know that if I see he's playing something that's Under Sea's bad against, I can dump it instantly. And if it's good against there, then in this best of one, I have this card that if I get to play, swings the matchup like by 20, 30 percentage points. So yeah, I think and that's an interesting contrast to having ink colors reviewed, which is a different kind of skill expression, right? How well do players know the format? But the one that happens here is where you might get slightly more of an additional edge on the draw that you wouldn't have in a normal best of three over the course of 3 games. But I do think that having asked around and just anecdotally, I don't think this swing was enough to compensate for how much of an advantage the player on the play gets just in the normal course of a Lorcana game. So maybe having inks reviewed would be a way to try and balance that out in a different way.
Yeah, and to just piggy off on that, you're right. I think that best of ones lack a skill expression, and I think that bringing something like revealing an ink color does give the chance to express that skill to go that instead of just having the luck. But I think a lot of people over here value the randomness or the luckiness of card games a little bit higher than I think we would in the West.
Yeah, that's fair. And you keep on alluding just to the culture in general. It just, quick side, my brother and I played Super Smash Brothers competitively for forever. And anytime we see anything like in Singapore as far as tournaments, they also do best of ones in fighting games, which is not quite the same, comparing fighting games to card games. But it's weird to see how those cultures come up, because even in those games, you're playing the format as much as you're playing the game. And that's a different type of skill expression, knowing how to really juice the format as much as possible and really play to the odds of what that is. Like even in fighting games, you'd see them pick characters that would maybe not be the best over the course of a long event, but might do well in like best of ones because you're able to have like a little bit of surprise factor. So there's like I said, a different kind of skill expression and kind of sort of a magic to it, because you see things in best of one tournaments and events in your culture that maybe you wouldn't see in the West because we wouldn't consider those things. I don't know. It's always been super interesting to watch Singaporean tournaments. I mean, just in other games. I know Avery, you were saying you watch a bunch of different content on YouTube and across a bunch of different games. And it's always cool to see how different cultures approach games, not even from their format, but just how different areas of the world value different cards, different strategies, and things like that. I mean, you can just take the differences between North America and European tournaments, and like you can almost very clearly, without seeing a player, see a deck list and be like, oh, I know what region of the world this is from. And so having DLCs pop up in different areas of the world, I think it's cool that we could like realistically get to a point where like, oh, I know what region of the world this deck came from, because that's what their tournaments or what their hive mind it looks like.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like that you really kind of resonated what I said, because it's really hard to communicate to someone the differences with differences, but still understanding that we are all very much together in this. So thank you for that. No, I think so. I was going to play obviously before I was invited to do this. And I was very going back and forth on whether I was going to play blue green and just high roll combo. I mean, my deck was just combo. There was nothing else to it. I was just going to high roll a combo for the Principle of Board Clear versus Blurple, which is probably the best deck that I perform at, and go with the control matchup and just try to grind it out, take the full 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and just really, really overwhelm my opponent eventually. So those are two decks I was debating on playing before. Obviously, I was invited to help out with the judge to kind of understand the best of one format and go at it from that angle to decide what deck. Whereas people who played Purple Steel, I think a lot of them played it because it's the best deck. You're right, it is the most fair deck, but it is the most consistent deck. So having the inconsistencies that any blue deck has, I think, unfortunately did hurt. But thankfully, Blurple won, which is my favorite deck. Yeah, that's just the way it is. So.
Yeah.
And Avery, do you have like, I don't know, are there things that you notice now that you're doing the analysis of different high level games and things like that? Are you seeing just in deck composition things that you might not see in Singapore, or are you seeing like certain things kind of line up with what you would expect?
I think, and I'm not sure if Dave will agree with me here, I think Singapore card game players are aggressively about optimization. In other words, they'll just net deck. So it doesn't. There's really no difference between Singapore and anywhere else. Wherever something's performing well, next week at a local or in a tournament, you're going to see card for card exactly that there's somebody just playing it. So in that sense, no. But in terms of regionally, I have noticed. To your point, as you mentioned just now, that different regions like different things. Europe really loves their Blurple, yeah. Like just looking at the tournament standings, it's all Blurple. Personally, I played the deck in set 9, so obviously I would try it in set 10. I didn't feel like it was, let's say, I didn't feel like its place in the meta game warranted the level of representation that it had in something like the Barcelona CCQ. But it seems that's just their local meta. They love it. They play all sorts of cool stuff like I think a lot of Kidas as well. That seems to be quite a European thing, Kidas in Blurple. So yeah, for Singapore, we don't really have that, I think, but it is maybe later on there'll be a certain card or combo that really speaks to the Singaporean soul here, and that's what everybody will be rocking, and everyone else knows or thinks it's terrible and won't play it.
It'll be the difference between like the North American Emerald Steel wave, and then everything in Europe was just Amethyst Steel and consistency.
Yeah. It's funny because I got to a point where I'm like, well, I don't really look at European tournament results because I don't know what they're up to over there. And you like get to the point where you're like, it doesn't translate. I don't know what they're doing. And so it is very fun to watch those.
Yeah. And just to your point about the Blurple, just because I always think it's fun. The only person to bring Blurple into Worlds was Lucas Kaupa of Austria. So out of 28 players. So shout out to him. No, it's a super fun event. I like the whole best of one thing was just so fun I mean, from a viewing experience perspective, I saw Jeff commented on it earlier. I think like it kind of left a little bit to be desired only because, in a round you got the one game and then it was done and then you were waiting for a while. But it is, I don't know, it is fun to think about as an alternate way to experience the game. I do wonder if best of two is like the answer. I mean, we've explored it, we've played with it, it works. It is actually very good at identifying the best player in the room. I know people hate it, but you do the math, you do the analytics, it is very good at identifying the best player in the room. So I don't know. I wonder if there's a middle ground there that would work.
I really agree. Best of two, I think, is actually the best way for any game that doesn't have a side deck. I just don't agree with the bonus point if you go win both games. Just there's no need to. It's just you win the game, get 3 points.
You win
the game 3 points. It's fine.
You won hard.
You don't need to get 7. Also, doing the math in like round 3 after you lose one game is like so difficult because you have to figure out what you have to do. Just don't give the bonus point. You won the game. Good God. Here's your 3 points. You won 2. Here's your 6.
That's fair. We should shout out the winners. As you all mentioned, Blurple did win. Jacob Frank of Team Rare Hunters. Coming over from Europe on a Blurple build. Pretty standard, I think.
I was only running one elephant, which he did open in the finals, and sealed him game 1. So he said he saw it all day. So he was living the best of one dream by having that card as often as he did.
The lucky elephant.
Fascinating.
2 Cheshire Cat, which I feel like is also not as common out here. He cut down 3 Bell. I feel like most players here use just 4 Bells, no Cat. Things like that. 1 Jump for the consistency. No one really plays magical maneuvers anymore out here either, so that's like an interesting tech for the best of 1. I think helps.
I found Woodchuck Guide so fascinating.
Yeah, I was about to say this is the
Four of
one. Yeah,
This
four of
card
these
is the
bigger.
best card in purple right now.
Really.
Yeah, this card is so good. Mainly because you have Demonia, so you can time it around your Demonia if you need it. You can just pay 3, draw 1, just like you could with essentially,
Friends.
Friends, the standard across Lorcana right now, or you can stagger it to help with the curve, things like that. Playing 2 cost items makes missing ramp less terrible. You're still going to lose, but it doesn't hurt as much. I guess.
You feel better doing it.
Yeah, you do. So
No,
it's,
because then you
it's-
ramp to 5 and then you play Ursula or Hades and then everything's okay.
Yeah, it really does help. Yeah, this card is a really, really good card. I run 3 in mine and 1 Ink Runner, just because the evasive ores can be quite difficult if you don't have the Basil, which also just gets aggressively removed by Steel now, so the ratios are quite hard.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, and then we talked about the European domination. Rare Hunters also, I think,
Yes.
Jacob Frank. I can't pronounce this.
It's Jenin. It's
Jenin.
he's Bosnian, so the DZ sounds like a J.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. That's you may see that appear on stream at a DLC. Jenin, also I believe of Team Rare Hunters, Earlmeister coming in from Rare Hunters as well. So yeah, just a lot of people coming from across the sea, and a lot of Amethyst. We do see this one. Kudos to the one Sapphire Emerald that crack in the top 8. But yeah, I don't know. Any other from either of you who were there? Any other overall impressions on the meta? Like what you saw overall? It's look at this.
I was just gonna say it. Please pull up that deck.
Okay. Okay.
He ran the Maui Shark Olympus combo on stream, and I think he gained like 9 lore in 1 turn or something like that, or it was pretty close to 9 lore. You play Maui Shark, you hold Olympus in your hand. Next turn, you play Demonia, you tap their entire board, and then just attack, add Olympus back, restand a Maui, gain a lore, attack, clear something, gain a lore, re-add Olympus, attack. It's awesome. It was awesome to see live. He still ended up losing the game to Thiago, but in my heart, he won. I wish they had a judge cam while this game was on live stream, because my face just went from like Stern, like obviously being very professional, and just slowly creeping a smile every single time he attacked something. It was awesome. It was really great to watch. This deck is so much fun. I have it built here with I added Tiggers in this to try to spice it up a little bit. Yeah, it was awesome. This was great to watch.
I'm gonna have to back watch that game. I didn't get to take him much of the stream, but now I want to. This was on stream. You're saying?
Yes, him versus Thiago. He did lose to Thiago, but watching his deck perform, you're like, this has potential. So it was nice. It was really, really cool.
It's exciting to see Shark. I mean, I never thought I'd feel this way to say it's exciting to see Shark do something again. But I am a little. I kind of missed him, guys. It's been long enough where he can come back.
He's been in timeout long enough. Like
it's just too cool of a card. I think yes, it is overpowering in a world where when you play effects are just dominating right now. Having a when you challenge effects perform well like this just feels good. So yeah, I agree.
So you quest with you challenge with the Shark, you pull back the Olympus, you play.
Yeah, so you quest with the Shark, you get 1. You play the Olympus to restand it. Hopefully you have only the Demonia left in your hand. Play the Demonia, you draw 3, tap everything. Challenge with the Maui Shark, right? Get 1 lore for Olympus. Add Olympus back. Play Olympus. Get a lore for playing Olympus from Shark. Restand Shark. Attack something. Clear it. Gain 1 lore from Olympus. Add Olympus back to your hand. Play Olympus to restand it, and just keep going that. He did it like 4 times. That's 8 lore. And the initial quest is 9 lore.
Oof.
This is bonkers, and it's so dumb, and it's dumb because like
it is. It's amazing. It's amazingly dumb.
I know, I love it. And the annoying thing about it is like now that this deck exists, and again, for all of you red purple players, I know people have been grinding, and the fact that this made an appearance probably isn't surprising a ton of players out there. But the fact that this deck exists and it's now popular means that when you sit down against your opponent and they play, and you identify what they're playing, now you have to have this combo in the back of your mind. And like you're thinking, are they on Shark or not? Like, or are they on the list that won Vegas? And you, I don't know.
Yeah, those first 4 turns are just going to be a mystery. Like, are they just because it plays like an aggro deck for the first 4 or 5 turns, and then all of a sudden a Shark gets down. You have 4 other characters to deal with. They're all quest for 2, or they're evasive, and you're just like, what do I do? Yeah. It was so great to watch.
Yeah, it's fun. And then just Amethyst Steel everywhere else. So.
Yeah, Amethyst Steel. Like I said, Amethyst Steel is the Indiana Jones with the gun, just shooting the cool other decks, doing cool stuff. And Olympus is there doing like the little whip combo of look at this, I'm getting lower, and then Amethyst Steel's like, and I still win. You're like, no, not like this.
That is what happened. It was very unfortunate.
Yeah,
but it was so cool for a minute.
yeah.
It was so cool. It was so good.
For a moment,
This turn took like 3 minutes.
It is exciting. I mean, I think Tiago, we talked about CCS. He's one of those players where like, yes, Amethyst Steel is inspiring, but I was very, very excited to see him get that golden Mickey. Because, I mean, gosh, what a room. I feel like the players that got through the gauntlet of best of 1 until top 8, like their nerves must have been so fried by then because it's just variance the roller coaster.
Yeah. I think Tiago's on stream 3 times.
Wow. Okay.
It wasn't intentional. It was just he got the lucky of the draw for the table numbers. I think he was on 2 or 3 times. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
But Avery, you were about to make a comment.
Sorry.
Oh no, I just wanted to say that as someone who was kind of in the trenches of the losers tables, I did see a lot of red purple there. So I don't know, it might be something you need to practice with a lot before you just bring it down to your local. Yeah. It's a deck that does suffer a lot on the draw, I think. I think the difference in terms of win rate, it might be the deck that has the biggest spread in terms of going first and going second, because you don't have a song to kind of swing the tempo of the game back in your favor, unlike Amethyst Steel with Strength of the Raging Fire.
This is, as I think you would put it, this is more fair than Purple Steel.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a little more solitary. So I like the added the Shark where it has a little bit more counterplay.
Yeah, I find the decks are just more fun to watch where they have like cool little mini combos inside of it, and I just feel like Amethyst Steel is just so kind of like, all right, it's doing that thing again. But it's just so fun when a Headless Horseman comes in and you got your Hercules, and it's like fireworks going off as a caster and as a
it is fun.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know. It was super fun to see, super fun to have a best of 1, fun to watch the results. And before I ask you all like your any closing thoughts and for CCS predictions, I'm going to ask you as well. I just wanted to say like it was so cool seeing this event out in Singapore. For those who don't know, I'm sure most people know, but for those who don't know, like back in the early days of Disney Lorcana, there were very few content creators around. It was a very small community. One of the most important people in the game at that point was Mushu with Mushu Report. Because the resources that he provided to the community and the wiki not only gave players like access to the latest information, but it gave content creators a ton of different tools to use to make good Lorcana content. And the game, I genuinely believe, wouldn't have been as on the map as it was when it launched without Mushu's efforts. And Mushu was from Singapore, and I talked to him a lot, and he made me aware of how passionate and excited the community in Singapore was for this game. And there have been people who have been following it since it was launched, and it took a while to get there. But to kind of see it come full circle from that moment with this really like vibrant community popping up almost immediately when the game was announced to now seeing the DLC played in Singapore and having some of the best players in the world travel there to experience that is just incredible. And so shout out to all you players who played there. Shout out to all of you from Singapore who are watching. Shout out to the judges, Dave, and the content creators who are there to make this happen. And shout out to Ravensburger for putting on this event because it was, I don't know, it's really incredible to see. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate it. And shout out
Thank
to
you.
the Singapore
Thank you.
Lorcana community.
Thank you. I'm not Singaporean. I am part of the community though. And I can speak on their behalf when we say thank you so much. Mushu Report was the reason I am part of this game here because they're the Facebook post I saw. They're the ones who told me to send the link to a WhatsApp group that I joined, 2 weeks after I moved here. So, yeah, it's awesome.
I'll never forget the excitement of somebody at Continental said, "That's Mushu Report." I'm like,
Mhm.
"He's here! Mr. Mushu Reports is in the room." It was like,
Yeah.
thrilling.
I did exact same reaction at locals when I was here, and he goes, "Oh, he's Mushu Report." And he's like, I look at him, he goes, "Yeah, I'm Mushu," and I was like, "What?"
The same thing happened. He was like, "Yeah, Mushu Reports." I'm like, "Mr. Reports is here." It was very exciting.
Yeah, it's super cool. Anyway, all right. From Avery and Dave, thank you so much for joining us. Any closing thoughts from either of you? And after your closing thoughts, what are your predictions for CCS this coming weekend? I don't know who starts. Avery.
Let's start with Avery.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts. No, I had a great time at the DLC. I'm hope there's going to be way more in the region. I hope this momentum keeps going. There's a huge player base, not just in Singapore, in Southeast Asia, in Asia for English cards, and I just can't wait to have this game expand in that regard. I will be, hopefully, I'm in the process of making like a tournament video. I did take a lot of B-roll, so hopefully that goes out sometime timely. Yeah, in terms of thoughts for the CCQ, I don't know. I think Blurp, given how dominant Amethyst Steel is and how consistent it is, I think if you build a Blurple deck with, you go 4 Elephant, you just hard commit to, I'm not losing the strength of a Raging Fire today. It might be in a, reasonably well placed. Then, of course, the metagame might become exploitable because Blurple obviously has a horrible matchup into dogs, I think. But, I think given where we are, and given like this red purple deck's gaining a lot of prominence, Blurple might be primed to have its day in the sun. Not necessarily win the tournament, but have a good number in like the top 8s and top 16s and stuff. That's my take.
Okay. I think it's a solid prediction.
Yeah. Just want to say thanks, guys. I appreciate the invite to come on here. I'm one of the people who've been playing this game 2 years out here with no support. So I echo this from probably hundreds of people to say thank you for having us on. Thanks for giving us our community a voice. Thanks to Ravensburger for giving us a DLC. It's awesome that we get to be a part of this. It's awesome that we are as integrated now as the rest of the world when it comes to this stuff. I would like to see them lift the language restriction so that we can have more Asian continent representatives here. I know it's hard, so I understand it, especially when it's brand new. But I hope they do lift that restriction so we can have some more representatives from other countries that don't have formal DLCs. But for now, I'm very, very happy for what we have. And for predictions, blue. Anything that plays blue, whether it's blue, green, or Blurple, that is the best color ever to be printed. They still keep printing absolutely insane cards for it. And I think with how good purple was just printed, I do think Blurple will still take another win. That deck is insane in the right hands, and I'm so happy it won for DLC Singapore. I want to see more repeats across the globe.
All right.
I like someone cheering for Blurple, the underdog. We love to hear you.
I've been playing that literally since set like 6. I was like going through all my cards, and I remembered that 7 drops Hades existed, and I was just like, this card is the best card ever printed. Why is no one playing this? I've been playing it at locals for literally over a year now, and it was just, that card is nuts. I have my pin, my Hades pin. I have 4 enchanted Hades. It's like the best card ever printed. It's my favorite card.
I love it.
Noted. Well, shout out to Hades, and when
Yeah.
Blurple wins, we'll have you back on next week to gloat.
Yeah, just I told you so.
Run around
Yeah.
the room. Blurple did it.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us. Thank you for the amazing content. We'll have links to both of your channels in the show notes. I haven't watched any of your channel, but I can't wait to, Dave.
Yes, we'll have a podcast app coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tune into that. I'm excited to
Thank
get
you.
plugged into that, and everybody go check out Avery's channel as well, because again, I can't emphasize enough how much I enjoyed the turn-by-turn breakdown of the DLC finals. You will love it. It's 15 minutes in one game, 20 minutes in the other. It's well worth your time, and it'll make you a better player. So, thank you both for that. And yeah, you're all invited back anytime you want. I tell everybody this, but send me a note if you want to come back on. All right.
Of course. Thank you guys
I
so much.
genuinely think I was the first one that was like, "Hey, what are you doing on Monday?" And now here I am, here every Monday. Because
That's
what
true.
else are you doing than waiting to be on the Illumineers?
That's true. That's what happens.
True.
All right. Thank you both. It was a pleasure. And yeah, see you around.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right. That was a treat. That was a joy.
It was. I love hearing like I do think it's so interesting that there's cultural aspects to the game and just like what different areas value as far as a player and as like the experience that they're looking for. Because I mean, we forget that we have such like ingrained biases. Like when we switched from when we had best of two, that was a great example of learning what people's biases were. So like you can't, it's 3.
Yeah.
2 is different than 3, and it's just very cool. So I'm excited, and it gives me a reason to travel because I'm like, you know what? Let's go. Let's get into Singapore next year.
Yeah.
I did get my passport for a reason, and now I'm just like, man. Now I just need the time off work.
Yeah, right. You need time off work, and also the lightning has to strike. You have to have the motivation, the money, and then also get the ticket, and all those things. They all come together. You can go anywhere. But
The motivation isn't my problem; it's the other problem.
yeah, the money and the time off. All right.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
a stool can't stand with one leg, so just...
You can't unless you're really good at bouncing. And
Sure.
that's good.
And
We
I'm
all
not.
try.
I'm
try.
not. I fall over constantly. So
Same. Yeah, I have to get my passport renewed. I have this terrible fear that I'm gonna be invited somewhere and I'm gonna be like, I can't go because I don't have a passport renewed. What's holding me up is I have to take a picture in front of like a gray wall, and I can't. I have no gray walls. And
they don't do it at your post office for you.
Yeah. But like you can do it online now, and you get a digital photo taken, and like you can do it all yourself, which is super convenient. I just need to do it.
I mean, like, just sit down closer to the floor on that wall behind you, and like,
Yeah.
just take the selfie, like just as you're sitting down next to the baseboards. They'll never know that you aren't
Yeah.
standing up. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I'll figure it out.
Just Photoshop this photo right here. This is the coolest you've ever looked. This is the perfect photo.
You're the vocalist in the band that hasn't gone on yet, man. Come on.
Yeah. I threw the hat. Habibi jumped in the chat, and I had to throw the hat back on.
Yeah.
To shout out ATB. Like I said, I feel terrible. They sent me this box a while ago to add to the hat collection, and with some other swag, and I've had it sitting sealed because I've been waiting to do like a short unboxing, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. And with the win last night, I feel like I just had to rep. So
it couldn't be me. If I have a box, it's opened within 5 minutes. So the fact that you knew something fun was in that box, so you could wait. I'm like a little raccoon. Get whatever that treasure is.
It's not the first unboxing that's happened live because like you all, I don't know.
You get
Peer pressure
excited.
you constantly.
Yeah.
It's still content.
I have the D23 like member boxes from the last 2 years sitting over there waiting.
Yes, I finally opened mine the other day because I said, "Who's watching this video of me open this package a year after I got it?" And the answer is, it was me privately in my living room going, "Wow,
Yeah.
Iago."
My Iago's sitting in a giant box there, and I haven't unboxed it yet. So
I freed him. I said, Iago, well, not out of the plastic. He's still in the plastic, guys. That's crazy. He can't come out of that, but he is out of the box.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get to that eventually. But yeah, so shout out to ETB for adding to the hat collection.
The hat wall.
I can now rep. Yeah, it is a wall. Like I have Infinity, Never Shift. I've got Crushers. I have Southside Gaming. I have Lorcana Muses. I have Enchanted Chatter. Now this, like, send me the hats.
I want the t-shirts. Liam can have the hats. I want the t-shirts. I wear my ETB sweatshirt every time I travel. It makes me feel very cool, and I like it very much. And
you have a sweatshirt?
I do. I'm so lucky because JDZ and you both got t-shirts. I did get a playmat, and man, I love it. Like any team that gives me swag, I'm voting for them. Whatever we're voting for, I'm like, you can buy my support. Absolutely. Best team in all of the Canada. Sorry, Slab Sharks. Sorry. I don't have a Slab Sharks sweatshirt.
In all of the Great White North.
Yeah.
That's true. I want to be who is he just retired? The football guy who wore the mascot hats heads.
Yeah, where he's
You
like,
know?
yeah, this is the one. Yeah, that's the dream.
That's something that I want that. So I'm trying to get every team out there. So, and this is it's a cool shirt. Look at that.
Yeah,
Cool swag.
I did have a poor child at an ice cream shop go, what band is that? And I said, well, it's actually a Canadian TCG team. He's like, oh, okay, lady, calm down. And it was like, we didn't want to talk about that, but I was like,
Yeah, Lee Corso. Thank you, Go per Steven. So we're getting close to time. A couple other things to talk about from this week. Just real quick, we're gonna hit some stuff. First off, we saw some stuff. We saw some new things coming out, which is fun to talk about. This, I think, was officially revealed.
don't show that to me, Liam.
Oh, sorry.
I need it.
Don't look. Close
I
your
know.
eyes.
He said,
Look
"Don't
at it.
look."
Look at it. I'm looking. I'm staring right at it. I swear. Can you guys remember a time you were more stressed out than trying to get that Stitch promo? Like, that was the most stressed I've ever been as a player, as a Lorcana fan, just trying to, there's 2 weekends to win it. And like,
Yeah.
there's only 4 per store and 500 people were there. That was the most crazy time. But now you can get the binder for just probably $29.99.
I remember driving because there was no local store near to me, and I was also traveling for work. So I was driving 3.5, 4 hours just to go play set jams for the Stitch promos. And what a wild time to be alive.
I know. I kind of miss it, that fever of it, of just being like, I got to get this Disney Lorcana. Because now set champs are fun, but it was kind of like wild energy back then, a feral energy, if you will. But this is cute. I do have what some might call too many little binders right now. I have just too many little binders. But one more. Why not? I'll get one more.
Yeah. I have too many little binders, too many big binders. Like I do believe that the binder bundles are fantastic products to introduce new people to the game.
Yes.
Because there's nothing worse than buying booster packs for people and then they're like, get the cards, and then they don't have penny sleeves, they don't have anything, so they just throw them in a box. But when you give them the binder, they put them in, they carry them around, they show them off. It's a thing. There comes a point though when we probably got to take a rest with the binders for a little bit.
I won't be resting, because that's the thing. Is to this day, I mean, I walked past the Tinkerbell one. I walked past it at Target today. I was like, well, it's like the ring. Like, what about one more binder? But I will say
I haven't completed my circle of Cinderellas or Tinkerbells.
But I will say that the binders are good to keep your iconics. Nope. That's crazy. Oh my iconic. Oh my iconic.
And then you just open the binder and it's nothing but Mickeys and Minnies and Hades and Ariel. And it's like, look at my collection.
That's why I have so many of the binders. It's
just like every time you open it, look at this stuff. Isn't it neat?
This is my Elsa Enchanted binder. Sorry.
This is my iconic binder, and it's
oh man. Listen, but I'm so excited for winter. I love the themes, like the fact that we had a detective, and I like that they don't go all in. The themes is a touch of the theme. We had a little bit of a detective situation going on in this one, and this one looks like we're gonna get some winter whimsy, and I love it because it's also coming out, I believe, the very beginning of February, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to be a perfect time because that's when you're really angry at winter. You're mad. It's gray. It's absurd. And this is cute. And I'm going to be all right, winter, get back in here. So
I'm currently angry at winter.
Yes. So. Yeah. Winter's already overstayed its welcome and it's been here for 1 week. So winter spell, I think, will be a magical time to say, you know what? And we also know that angel card, play, draw, disparity, what we're going to get, which in best of 1, how angry would it be if you get the card that says if you're going second, you get to do this, and you're just like, well, I guess it'd still be good. Actually, no. So maybe that is good. I can't wait to see how that plays out. If there's more cards like that says if you're going second, you get this ability. I'm very, very excited about that.
Oh, yeah, me too. I think they're fun. And I'm sure that we'll see a few more cards like that to even things out. And man, it's gonna be really exciting for just the game. I'm super jazzed about this set.
No, and you can see there's little winter Leela up. This is my favorite part, is the detective nature. We're all detectives when these sets come out because we're all enhance. And is that Grandma Tall up there? I don't know. What are we looking at? What is Lilo up to? And that's been my other favorite thing when they show this product, is that we all are computer. What is
enhance?
I count on somebody on Instagram to do a story where they tell me all about these cards based on this tiny, tiny image that they saw.
Yeah.
And then somehow decode all the pixelation from zooming in so much. And it's like the Jarvis enhance.
Yeah, somebody's saying the game piece saying, "Do you spy slushy in the top left?" I don't know what slushy is.
I'm gonna guess, is it like one of the stitches? One of the stitches?
One of the experiments.
I don't know.
This
There are 626 experiments, with Stitch being the last one that was made. So
Yes.
okay, slushy.
they had a
is-
whole Disney show about that. Fun fact,
They-
go watch it. It was good.
they-
We
Yeah.
did. Hold on. Slushy.
love-
It is one of the experiments. Hold
Yes.
on.
Wow.
Good
How
call.
exciting.
Google. We'll bring it up here. I'll show all you viewers watching on the YouTubes.
That's a missed
Yeah.
opportunity that they don't do a Disney Plus membership with these things, because every single set that comes out, it's like, you haven't seen DuckTales, you haven't seen you haven't seen Stitch the show, and I think that there should be some kind of
Stitch the
promo.
show.
Well, I guess it's Stitch the series. Lilo and Stitch the series.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Stitch the show was better.
Stitch the show.
With 2 exclamation points.
Yeah.
Because chaos. This is Slushy. Slushy is experiment 523
Yes.
and made of mostly
Legal.
ice and snow, so appropriate.
He's designed to be a freeze inducer, making mostly ice and snow.
Mm-hmm. And keeps all leftovers edible for 6 months.
It's a little bit of a silly show, if you will.
Indeed. I do like this idea that Jumba at one point was just like, I crave slushy at this point. Let's make an ice experiment.
Shout out to his grudge with Splotty Head.
So one of the main characters in the show, I forget which experiment he is, but his whole thing is that he does nothing but make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah.
Chat, which one? Chat.
Is that
knows who
Leroy
is.
or no? No.
Or maybe it's not peanut butter. I think it's just sandwiches, period. I think it's just like all he does every episode is just make sandwiches. So I feel like there's a lot of times where Jumbo was like, I'm hungry and I just like something to help me do that. And then eventually he got chaotic and gotten to the point of like Stitch was like, but what if world domination instead of hungry?
Yeah, sorry, someone in the chat, Scott, just said
world domination instead of
Scott just saw Great Mounts Detected on for the first time over Thanksgiving. Shrug. All right.
Ruben. Okay, Ruben.
His name's Ruben, which is apropos for a sandwich character.
I do think Ruben, if I recall, is like one of the most popular of the experiments.
Well, he became a main character.
For good reason, right? Like, how whimsical
I'm so far behind on my Stitch lore. There he is.
Yeah,
he's so far behind. He was the
Um,
penultimate experiment.
Like he is as strong as Stitch, but all he wants to do is make sandwiches.
His main flaws is cowardice and laziness. He's very strong because he makes sandwiches, which is a hard thing to do when you're tired.
I love how they had to say, albeit delicious ones. He does make good sandwiches, so he has a redeeming quality.
Yeah, no, that's like the weird thing about it. Like he is literally as strong as Stitch, but Jumbo messed up, and now all he wants to do is like lay around and make sandwiches and chill. And
Well, it sounds like we all have to watch the show by the time Winterspell comes out. So I'm still behind Gargoyles and also all of DuckTales, but I'll get there. I'll put them all on at the same time. This show and Gargoyles.
Gantu's right hand man. Everybody is all up on. We'll have to look at one more.
The chat got fired up by talking about this.
I know. All of a sudden, chat was quiet for a while, and then all of a sudden, this is. So Leroy, I believe, is a title character of Leroy and Stitch. So 629.
Yeah.
Wait, so they made 2 more past Stitch? What?
3?
What are we doing? I'm confused, guys. I gotta get off this.
Jumbo made Stitch, but Stitch still had like flaws because he wasn't
true.
He wasn't the world domination. So like he kept going, and then like we found Leroy, who is like basically Venom, but Stitch.
Venom? No, that's a lot.
Basically Venom.
He has all of the gumption and aspirations of I want to take over the world, but none of the whimsy that Stitch has.
It's funny.
The more Ohana means family. Now I make my family of clones and take over the world.
That is funny. We've gone down a giant rabbit hole here, a giant Stitch hole. But I do love, Leroy was made to be extra destructive and less fluffy, which apparently was.
Fluffle.
Yeah. It's like, I'll make you taller and not so fluffy. I like fluffle.
Oh man, Liam starting on the Stitch kick is truly a delight because it's not going to stop for like 2 hours, and it is a roller coaster. I will never forget.
Liam starts, and all he does is just Ohana me family. I'm like, okay, Liam.
Yeah, I think one time I was having like a serious conversation about something, and I was like, "Yeah, but it's still good." He's like, "Still good." I'm like, all right, yep.
Still good.
I
Still
was
good.
like, "All right, you know what?
Still
I think
good.
it is. I appreciate a well-timed Stitch impression is never uninvited to the Ohana family."
It's like, Liam, how you
Right.
doing? Still good. Yeah. Still
Still
good.
good.
Liam,
Yeah.
you're in the hospital. And he's like,
Yeah. Still good.
Still good.
It brought
Ohana
you
means
good.
family.
Remember the stuff
We've
behind.
divulged. Oh no.
All right. Well, that took longer than I thought it was. But anyway, yeah, binder coming out, super good. I love the art on it. Nicholas Cole getting is doing the binder, fantastic. Yeah. Another bit of old news we have to revisit real quick is a rules change that came out today. Today, do you all keep up with this?
I mean, of course, because this has been in every tournament. Everybody, I mean, this has been exploited over and over again, getting 3 CCQ spots. No, I didn't. I remember reading about it because somebody said that this is something that you need to keep an eye out for. But they did say, hey, it was on the official channels today of this is how the interaction works.
I wait until smarter people than me tell me how it works.
Yeah,
I do too. I say
I'm not smart enough. We'll have to have Joe back. But this is on this podcast. He did come on and highlight that this interaction clearly, these cards were meant to work together, and because of the rules, they didn't work properly. But because I think the issue was you had to resolve get to safety completely,
which then made it not see Sleepy Hollow because it's technically not in play yet because Get to Safety wasn't finished yet.
Right. And so they didn't like interact. So you had to have a Sleepy Hollow in play already and then use the Sleepy Hollow. Just can't pull it out. But they changed. Oh, there's Joe in the chat. Look at that.
We'll summon him.
He's always here. He's always watching. Yeah, but he highlighted this interaction. It was a lot of fun, that show, to look at this thing that I'm sure the developers designed, and they were like, "This is amazing. Look at this flavor." And then at some point after like publication, it was like, "Huh, that doesn't work like we thought it did." But fear not, they fixed it, and I don't think it like affected any other interaction or card rulings. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think like the clarification only basically, because of the cards we have in the game, only basically applied to this interaction. But now this card enters play like immediately before you resolve the rest of the get to safety. So this actually works as intended now, thanks to not an errata of the cards, but a rules clarification and change. So fun little tidbit from today. So there you go. Now you can play your Sleepy Hollow decks, and good flavor fun.
Look, bro, it's going to become relevant now that it works as intended, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I never saw like this is the next Ruby Amethyst combo that's going to win the game." You ever heard of Get to Olympus Shark? How about Get to Safety Sleepy Hollow?
Get to Safety Sleepy
Exactly.
Hollow.
People slept on the Headless Horseman and Ruby, so maybe we're sleeping on this. We just have to wake up. We are the Sleepy Hollow right now.
Yeah, just in time for Stranger Things premiere. It does feel very good. Anyway, it's
just in time for Charlie's Collectible Show.
Just
coming up this weekend.
All right, so that is Logan telling me it is getting way too late. We have to wrap this thing up. All right, predictions for this weekend.
I'll start. I think that dude, every time I see like a Amber Emerald Dogs list, I'm just like, it has all the tools to do all the things. Like I legitimately had it like when I looked at top 8 of the CCQ Wakefield, I was like, this is the deck that's going to win. Like it has such a good spread into like the rest of top 8. So I'm going to go ahead and my prediction is that Amber Emerald Dogs is going to sneak in the win at CCS.
Now, are we thinking aggressive or circle of dogs, David?
I'm going to go Emerald Chromicon.
Yeah, that one's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's just it's gonna be Amethyst Steel versus Blurple in the finals. We'll go. How did we get here? What happened? What year is it? And I want it to be Tiago only because of the plot of Brandon DiCandio said he has to come out of retirement, and by retirement I mean employment, to take the title if Tiago wins twice.
That is true. That was
in a row. It has to be in a row. So that's the thing. This is like the only time that can happen.
Was it twice in a row or 3 times?
Yes, it had to be in a row.
No, it was twice in a row.
Twice in a row.
Twice in a row. Because
DiCandio won twice in a row because that was the joke. The second one, we're like, DiCandio, you're gonna win, ha! And then he made Amber Emerald Dock Mines, and we're like, Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay.
Or
Well,
Amber Steel Dark Mines.
I would love to see Tiago win it again, just for that plot line. We're gonna call it. We will, Logan. Okay, so if Tiago wins again, we will immediately reach out to Brennan and set up some sort of Tiago versus Brennan showdown on the channel.
Exactly.
We three can commentate it. Maybe we'll do it on a Monday night just for extra fun.
So it might not be Tiago on Amethyst Steel. I just feel like that's the villain line of Amethyst Steel is no matter what you're doing, no matter how excited we are about the meta, Amethyst Steel is watching in the corner going, I'm still doing it. But Liam, this is the tip turning. What are you predicting? You can't just ask us. What do you want, buddy?
I
just wanted to ask us.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, just wanted to ask you. Oh, my connection is going by.
Oh, man. This guy
going through a tunnel. No, I think if I had to place money on it, I think Amethyst Steel is the deck that's most well positioned. It is the most consistent. It's just a very good deck, and there's some very good pilots out there. Tiago being one of them, who will, Tiago will. It's a very good chance of making the top cut. And with the right matchups, I think Amethyst Steel stands a good chance. But if I had to pick another, I think Emerald Sapphire has some really interesting builds. And I know there's some people tinkering with it. And I know there's some people going to Charlie's who've been tinkering with it. And I think that deck stands a chance to surprise us with a good top 4 finish, with a novel build that we haven't seen yet. So that's my other kind of prediction. I think that deck will
last Charlie's, it was very fun. Me and you walked around the room and 3 people said, don't tell anyone, but I'm bringing Emerald Sapphire.
Everyone. Yeah,
I'm like, all right, guys. I don't know how to tell you this, but you all
like, hey, I'm on Emerald Sapphire.
Yeah, and Sailor's like, I'm on Emerald Sapphire. I'm like, all right, guys, you guys can't all have the same evil secret plan. And they did. And I liked it. And it was fun. They were fun matches.
Yeah. But I predict Logan to take down the whole thing.
Yes,
because
by force.
I've been saying it for like weeks. You just all come watch me win my Continentals invite.
Yeah, it's a CCQ, right? So that's like the most exciting part.
It's gonna be wonderful to have you all there when I finally win my Continentals invite, and I just can't wait for the party we're gonna have afterwards. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's called the LCCQ, which is the Logan CCQ. It's kind of cool how they made it special just for him.
And and here's the other thing to pay attention to. I have to get a clarification on the ruling, but normally invitations pass down. I'm sure they work the same for the CCQ. And now that we're later on in the season, there are going to be people playing in Charlie's who already have Continentals invites. And so it's something else to pay attention to because, obviously you want to win and take it down, but I'm fairly certain there are, it is very possible that the winner ends up having an invite already. And it passes down to the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place finisher. So something else to keep an eye on throughout the day, especially as we get to the top cut, because there's some really interesting storylines that could play out there as well.
So for sure, like most of Team Maelstrom is going to be there. And as anybody knows, Sky also has his Continentals invite already.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a non-zero chance where like there's a top 4 where 3 of the top 4 already has a Continentals invite. And you just had to make it that far to get there. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
But how cool would it be to win the first pass? Like to say, like, you know what, guys, I'll pass it down. To be the winner of the first person to give a pass down. Be like, I already have one. If anyone else wants this.
Yeah.
So
Does anybody need this? Like, I got one at home.
Ticket to Nationals, Disneyland, if you will.
There's a deep cut. I told him we've already got one.
Monty Python, Holy Grail. We already got one. It's very nice.
Yes, it's a very nice.
I told him we already got one.
Lorcana Habibi says Logan top 16, 100%. I say top 2.
So baby, how many Canadians will be there? Last time they were all there. The Slab Sharks and the ETB, they're all like, the prices were cheap. All of Canada's here. So if they're not all there, I'll be very sad because that was fun.
Dude, set 9 and set 10, just as another segue, has been my breaking my weird bad luck that I didn't have. And Charlie's has been like the worst offender of just giving me bad luck. Ever since the first one where I like magically was able to make top 8. It has just been like, oh, you bubbled, or oh, you got on stream and you don't win those. Doesn't matter what
That's,
happens.
the curse is broken. Remember, you got streamed at the Milwaukee. I was
Don't
so
talk-
scared. I
Don't
saw
talk
it.
too loud. Don't talk too
Yeah,
loud.
right. Okay, whatever. The curses and broken or not broken. I'm not in charge of such things, quite frankly. They don't put me in charge of the curses, but
You're gonna make someone angry somewhere, and just all of a sudden, like, bam, bad
yeah,
luck. All the time.
right. You're in Iowa and it's snowing. You already have the bad luck that you used all that.
You're getting it all out before.
Yeah,
this
that's
weekend.
the
This was
luck. You
happening.
already
Like,
have.
Monday through Thursday is all just about getting all the bad juju out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
Now we have to get out of the Midwest somehow. So
You need
good
to go
luck
eat
to
some
us.
you need to go eat some like Mickey ice cream cones to like balance some things out.
Yes.
in any case, however it goes down, it's going to be super fun seeing both of you and hanging out with all of the awesome people who are going to be there this coming weekend. If you're not going to be there, or if you are going to be there, come say hello throughout the show to any one of us as we're there. And if you're not going to be there, check out the stream. I think it's going to be streamed on 20 Lore Pro this weekend. They always do a fantastic job. Katie and I will be commentating with some other fantastic casters as well. So we'd love to see you on the stream. Come hang out with us all weekend, and we'll see Logan in the finals on Saturday night on stream.
The
Not to jinx you at all, but I believe.
Well, the finals are on Sunday, so that kind of you protected him.
Oh, sure. Okay, there you go. But definitely, check out the stream. It'll be awesome. And if you've watching the streams, you know how much I talk about the storied history of Charlie's and what it means for this game. And it is true. There's all sorts of storylines that are written there. So you should definitely come check it out. Even if it's just for a moment to say hello, come stop by the stream. And what else do we have? I mean, it's hitting 2 hours. There's plenty more we could talk about. There's so many things that happened this week, but we do need to wrap. What did we miss that's super important before we sign off?
Blue Steel is here.
Sapphire Steel won.
Yeah, Sapphire Steel did something, and I like it that it did something and it won. And Blue Steel players are still debating what a good Blue Steel deck is. They're like, Headless Horseman is terrible. I'm like, I love it. You guys are crazy. No matter whether you're doing bad or good, you guys are still fighting in the streets. Shout out to those players.
Yeah,
but they did win.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think we hit everything.
Yeah. Everything. There's no other things to talk about.
No other things. Not a single thing.
No.
Let's
other
stop
things.
talking Lorcana, quite frankly.
Yeah, let's not talk Lorcana anymore. But let's talk Lorcana next Monday. We'll see you all back here. Once again, shout out to everybody who hung out with us tonight. It was super fun having you here. Thank you to the Patreon supporters who helped make this show happen. Their names are in the credits, and I appreciate all of you and our subs on Twitch because it costs a lot of money for all these subscriptions, so you all help to make it happen. We'll see you on the stream this weekend at Charlie's, and we'll see you back here next Monday night at 8 p.m. Central, where hopefully we'll be talking to the winner. And I also have a couple fun guests lined up already from Europe. And so it'll be a great stream next week. Don't